Oh God.
We're on.
We're on. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Malcolm.
Hi
And
there.
hi, from different parts of the country.
No,
Except
no,
Courtney and I are
right.
close.
Uh, I
So
hate to
welcome to
I hate to
you
tell
hate
you
what?
it's 70 degrees outside here. Bright sunshine.
Thanks,
And,
Malcolm.
and Courtney, what is it doing here again?
I told you, it's another Monday, another snowstorm.
That's right. It's pretty, but
Beautiful.
it's gorgeous. It really is actually.
Anyway, do
Uh,
the intro, Max.
anyway, so welcome to Courtney on Health. And so here, I always start with something. Try always to do something a little different. So, have you met Mr. Tall, Dangerous, and Smoldering before? Margot put a hand on Selinka's shoulder. The contact instinctive between pack mates. It's a serious breach of the girlfriend code to hide snacks like that. Hmm, that's from Alpha Night by Nalini Singh. Had to pick something with a snack in it. And then here's a fun quote. The only things you like sprung on you are snacks. And that's The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. So snacks, glorious snacks. No car trip is complete without packing chips, granola bars, cookies, apples, nuts, assorted chocolate. For the health conscious chocoholics, there is now a vegan Kit Kat bar. Not kidding.
Vegan
And here's
Kit
an
Kat.
interest a vegan Kit Kat bar just
All
came
right.
out. Pretty cool. I'm gonna try it just for the heck of it. Is there? Here's an interesting fact. The global snacks market was valued at $439.9 billion in
And growing.
2018, and is expected to grow at a rate of 6.2% from 2019 to 2025, which is huge. Um, we all get cravings for food in between our meals, and whether it's a coffee break or a bedtime snack, we need to grab something sweet, salty, crunchy to satisfy the hunger we seem to get before or after meal times. Is there such a thing as a healthy snack? And what is our body telling us when we pillage around at midnight for cookies and milk? So, Courtney will give us some good tips for healthy snacking. And that leads to the question: what are the pluses and minuses of snacking, Courtney?
All right. Well, I'm probably going to provoke a lot of folks who are fans of snacking, um, in that I think we're in a situation we're in the over snacking of America, where it's
Mhm.
been fed to us that we need to snack on a regular basis from very young age to a very old age. And I'll talk at the end about those people who probably would benefit from snacking, but for the most part, eating every 2 to 3 hours is not physiologically needed. We would be fine if we went longer than that without having, any food. But it's been ingrained in us that we need to have snacks, that it's become part of our habit, and we're consuming more calories than we should as Americans, but by far more than Europeans eat, even when they do have snacks. So, elsewhere around the world, they might have one snack, per day. You want to take a guess about how many snacks Americans have on average?
How
A
many?
lot.
Too
Over
many.
too many is the answer to that, right? But over 3 snacks a day. So those are not meals; those are snacks. Now, a snack should be no greater than 200 calories, and the problem
Ha
is,
ha ha ha.
yep, that's the problem. It's laughable because nobody's having a snack that's only 200 calories or less. It's preposterous. So even when you're comparing the same American snack to the European version, guess what? More sugar. It's been reformulated. It's got more salt in it. It's got more sugar in it because the American palate is very different. So that's a whole nother segment. But you can see how we're getting into a little bit of trouble, a lot of bit of trouble with this constant availability of snacking, all the way around. There's more processed food. The portion sizes are bigger. Again, they're nowhere near 200 calories where it should be. It's usually much, much more than that.
Well,
Think
Courtney,
about it. Yeah, sure. Go
yeah,
ahead.
when I'm dieting, or when I was dieting, and I was looking at different types of regimens, there's something it's grazing. It's where you don't eat big meals, but you eat every few hours. I mean, it's not the snacks, you're not eating junk food and you're getting to the
Right.
good snacks, but that you should eat every few hours versus sitting down to eat a big lunch or a big dinner.
Which for some people, a very small percentage, I would say, could work for them, because it's not necessarily 3 regular size meals, calories in those
Yeah.
meals, and then smaller snacks spread throughout, every couple of hours. It ends up being truly very small mini meals spotted throughout the day. So for some people, if that works for them and they're staying within that lower calorie load per meal, it actually could work for them. It doesn't have any physiologic advantage over somebody who's a 3 square a meal eater with maybe 1 snack, that's thrown in there. So there is some personal flexibility in there, but I can tell you from my experience that most people who are doing the grazing are not helping themselves, because at the end of the day, they've grazed themselves to well over, 3,000 calories a day, because they're just not keeping track of their hunger. So they're eating every couple of hours, but they're not really thinking of it as a meal. So it doesn't count, it doesn't register as a meal, so they keep going on. The other problem with that is the content of that snack. If you're not having a snack with fiber, fat, or any protein in it, which unfortunately for Americans, that ends up being a lot of our snacks, it doesn't fill you. Okay, it's a carbohydrate. It's usually a refined carbohydrate. It's quickly absorbed. And then you find yourself 2 hours later doing what? Looking for something else because you're still hungry. So you can see there's a couple of different layers of issues with regard to snacking. It doesn't have to be bad, but I think compounded with the size and the processed foods that we're eating as snacks, it's the visual cueing that we're constantly seeing. So think about, of course, this was when we were going out, right? So you go to a department store, you're in Macy's. What's at the cashier? What's at the register when you check out? It's been a long time, since we've all been in like.
Yeah, they have little things. They would have chocolate.
that.
They would have, candy or something. They would have something that you can get or take.
Yep. So, there's usually candy there. Last time, we all been getting, gas to fill up our cars. Oh my gosh, what has happened to gas stations, right? It used to be you just get gasoline and maybe like something to drink. Now it's a whole, area of, food. So that visual cueing you may not think is impactful, but it really drives your eating. So you might not be hungry. It might not be your stomach saying, I want that, but your eyes see it and it drives the purchase.
Well, that's right. The checkout counter of the supermarkets. What's there?
Definitely.
Candy bars.
Candy bars. So, and that's that impulse at the end buying. And then as Maxine mentioned, the marketing behind snacking in this country is massive.
Mm-hmm.
So where, if you look back, decades ago about how much, how many ads we saw for the snack industry, anything from chips to cookies and things like that was much, much less than what it is right now. For everything from like snack kits, I've seen that a lot on social media and a lot of the feeds. People, do we really need snack? I know meal kits are big for people, and I get that, but do we really need snack kits? Do we need to buy pre-packaged snacks for us on it? It's really, feeding the American psyche with the notion that we must have snacks, and we don't necessarily need them.
That's because we have, most popular snack brands in America are Oreo cookies and Lay's potato chips, and Nestle is one of the biggest, snack or companies in the world, and PepsiCo, and they just throw out campaigns like the Dorito campaign is now changing its tagline. It's called "For the Bold." And that's because they're focused on igniting consumers to take what they love to another level. You love Doritos so much that it's going to give you an orgasm. Like, what is it going to do for you? Seriously. So it's just that American ad campaigns for these huge companies to just sell. And it's, again, yeah, in Europe, it doesn't seem to be that way, but I know in going to Europe though, the last time I was there, but before times, I was in Portugal, and they have you can get coffee anywhere. They have coffee shops, and they have pastry shops, and you're like, everyone is stopping for coffee always. I mean, and the coffee is so strong. You walk around like, but then there's always this pretty pastry next to it. I don't know. I haven't seen snack machines that much, but I do see a lot of coffee and a lot of pastries there. So maybe the pastries are taking up where the snacks don't show up.
Right, but I bet you if you looked at the size of those pastries, they're probably pretty small.
They're smaller.
And
Yes.
vending machines, I mean, it took America quite a long time to pull vending machines out of our schools, so shame on us.
Right.
But schools are another issue, and I know, and this is not a slam against teachers. I mean, this is a shout out to the teachers around the country who are doing an amazing job for our kids. I think it's just systemic to the culture of American schools where we constantly have snack times for kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My son came home from school, and this was the same with my daughter. I pick them up at school from 3 o'clock. By that point, they've had breakfast when they when they leave the house. They've had a mid-morning snack. They've had lunch. They have a mid-afternoon snack. They come home, they have a snack. That's 5 points of food before you've even gotten to dinner. That's
Yeah.
a lot. So
Yeah,
it's
well, that,
become
yeah,
habit, right?
yeah. That reminds me of first year I graduated college and I went to work. I gained about 20 pounds. Why? When I was in college and I had snacks, but I didn't eat anything. You run between classes, you grab a candy bar or something, you have it, and you don't eat lunch. And then you come home and you have your work. When I started work, I would eat breakfast at home. Then I got to the office and there's a coffee wagon in the office. You get coffee and a little pastry. Then 10 o'clock there, 10:30, there's a little bell, ding, ding, ding. Coffee wagon comes up, coffee and a little pastry. You have your 12 o'clock lunch, 3:30, ding, ding, ding. It's a coffee wagon. You have your pastry, you have your coffee. 5 o'clock, out with the boys for
Yeah, it's
bar.
very Pavlovian, right? It really is. I mean, you kind of get used to that. And so we're all used to that. It doesn't mean it can't be undone. And I do think there are certain people who certainly will rely on snacking. I think very, very little kids, because their appetites are a little bit different. Of course, the snacks do need to be on the healthier side. If you're an insulin dependent or a non-insulin dependent diabetic, so, you really shouldn't go very long periods of time without food. People who are going through maybe chemotherapy or certain treatments that really shut down their appetite and have early satiety, certainly they would benefit, from some healthy snacks. Air travel, I'm always telling clients, this is of course when we did fly, never get on a plane without some healthy snacks on board. So there is definitely a role for snacking. I just think it's ballooned to the point and it becomes this thing we don't want to talk about because, you can't separate people in their snacks, and so we just need to find a way. And with kids in particular, there's a lot of peer pressure for kids to eat what other kids are eating. So when I'm working with parents, it's hard because it's like, well, I try to send in carrots and hummus with my child for a snack, but how can he compete with the bag of Doritos, right, Max?
Right. Sure.
So I feel like what we need to do, speaking of your orgasm there, Maxine, okay, so we need to make, healthy snacking sexy for adults, right? And then we need to make it cool for kids somehow. We'll start here, right? We're going to start with this show and we're going to make it a grassroots effort to try and bring healthier snacking back in and then minimizing just how many snacks we're throwing back as Americans.
I guess oysters should be a snack for men,
Yeah, we keep coming back to the zinc, right?
I don't know. It's just, I'm just looking at this, just one little factoid I kind of pulled, and it said, according to a study conducted by the consumer research giant Nielsen, 91% of consumers polled worldwide say they snack at least once a day. Chips are the most popular snack in the US. In Europe, it's fruit. And globally, chocolate is the number one choice.
Yeah.
So fruit, So in terms of a healthy snack, if we grabbed an apple, if we grabbed an orange more than once a day, the calories within that can't be bad.
No.
Is that what's healthy? What can we do?
Right. So I think for most people, that's the way to sneak in there. I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about, servings of fruit and keeping, a reasonable sugar amount. For some people, that's the way to get their fruit in. Let your fruit be your snack, right? That's great. Many of the fruits available to us are very portable, or you can, put them in a little bag or a container, reusable container, and zip out the door. That's great. I think that nuts, for people obviously who don't have a nut allergy, are a fantastic, obviously you want to keep it to around a quarter of a cup, don't have the entire bag. Nuts are a great way. Why? Because they are filled with fiber, they're filled with protein, and they're fat. So it is the trifecta of a food that helps keep you full. So really serving the purpose of a snack, which is bridging you from one meal to the next. And it's just a powerhouse of nutrition. Chocolate, when you look at European countries, that's probably one of the things, as you mentioned, that they're snacking on, but it's not an entire Hershey bar the size of my face, right? It's
Right.
a small, better quality piece of chocolate that they truly savor and enjoy. Maybe they are having it with a cup of coffee. I always tell some of my clients, if you're able to eat nuts, a fabulous combination is like dark chocolate covered almonds, or some combination. It's fantastic. A little bit of
Right.
chocolate, some serving of nut, perfect. Small, delicious, and you'll find those kinds of snacks to be very, very, satisfying while staying within a reasonable amount. A small serving of yogurt, if you like yogurt.
Mhm.
So, it's portable, stick it in your bag. All you need is a spoon. There are definitely healthier options available to us. So choose healthier and then choose them less often, I think is a great message.
Yeah.
And again, make them good.
Yeah, make them
I,
good.
I remember when my boys were had a little league or
Yeah,
the
me too.
AYSO soccer, that when each week one of the parents was responsible for the snack or after the game. But most of the time with the group that I was over in Sherman Oaks, the snack was supervised. Like there were certain things you could not give as a snack, which reminded me of what we're talking about now with the
Nuts,
healthy. It was the fruits. It wasn't candy
We
bars.
had yeah, that we gave the kids we had oranges,
Yeah.
they were all
Little
sliced
Sunny
up.
Side. Yeah.
Yeah, and that seemed to be a big thing, and we try to keep it healthy with the kids. But
Yeah,
after the games though, it was time for pizza. So,
Which is totally fine. Remember our 80-20 rule from last
Mm.
week? It's totally fine, but you're really trying to, listen, not every kid is going to jump up and down over a clementine as a snack. If you ask my son right now, to him, chocolate chip cookies are a snack, so,
right.
but there are, you keep trying, right? And particularly for adults, children model, learn from our behavior, right? We should be modeling good behavior. So you try the best you can. If it's not every time, that's okay. Another great one would be, and you have to read the labels because they can be little tiny salt sticks, would be, because they're great portion control, the cheese sticks. Cabot's a great brand. I just happen to like them a great deal. Land O'Lakes a good one because it's very good quality and it tastes good. A cheese stick, portion
Mhm.
control, they're usually 70 to 90 calories, maybe a couple of like Triscuits or something, or even a piece of cheese and an apple. Perfect.
Yeah.
So those kinds of combinations serve the body really, really well.
We're thinking of when you talk about cheese and a bit of cheese, I think a bit of cheese and a little white wine.
Well, not at a soccer game. No, sorry. Maybe the adults,
Adult soccer,
the little flask during the seventh inning stretch,
Right. Did you ever
Have your Portugal's filled.
Yeah. What's in those things? Yeah, we can have popsicles with lemonade and vodka. I mean, okay. Why not?
But what I think is the worst for kids, and you see that all the time. I feel like yelling when you see them drinking soda. The regular soda.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Coke,
no, that's
Pepsi, and
I
that's
agree
the
with
worst.
you, Malcolm, but I think a real devil too is the stuff that looks like it's healthy, but really isn't, like the fruit chews and the fruit
Oh, yeah.
leather. They're in the fruit snacks of the world, and I don't like throwing anything under the bus generally, but I think most people know, most parents know that soda not that great for you. But I can't tell you how many parents I still interact with and kids, because they see that little packet, and sometimes it's it's made with organic fruit juice, you know,
Right.
so people think it's healthier, or even Annie's brand. It's still fruit. It's still fruit chews, and it's still concentrated sugar, and it's still terrible for your teeth. I don't care what brand it is. So, but that, I think people get confused because it gives the illusion of being healthier.
Well, you
Right.
know what's very underrated? And when I was doing running or doing a marathon, pure cold water when you're thirsty. That
Underrated?
tastes so good
Awesome.
after your exercise. But guys, I think we're out of time.
We're out of time.
It's been
Uh-oh.
about 20 minutes. By the way, people who, if you're watching the show, obviously you're watching the show. We have a whole slew of shows that we did before this. That's you can access. You go to Courtney on Health, malcolmpresents.com, Courtney on Health, and we have all her shows on there. So you could sit back and listen to the shows. If you have any questions, write them down. Where can I get you, Courtney?
I want to hear them. I want to hear
Yeah.
what you do. I want to hear how you're trying, what you feel about snacking, what you think works for you, what you've done. So that's how I think people really learn from these type of environments.
So where can they get to you? They can go to Facebook, they can go to
yeah,
at
you can
CG
find me.
Wellness on Instagram.
Yep, so it's CLG Wellness on Instagram, and then if you go to Facebook and you go to my page, Courtney on Health, we always post the episodes there. In either forum, you can send me a message, and I will get back to you or add a comment. And again, I'm happy to respond to any comments that we get.
And at
Right,
the
and
end
you
of the
can
show,
tweet, and you can tweet us. You can tweet us at TM Shades of Green, because I will forward anything that you send to Courtney.
yeah. By the way, at the end of each show, we have a comment page, so they can just comment, ask questions, and we could, then go over that. Anyway, thank you very much, Courtney.
Thank you. My pleasure. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy.
Happy snow.
Happy snow.
Well.
Another
All
day
right.
of snow. Bye.
Oh, you're lucky you're in LA. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.